I started using this pencil case. Like, it really comes in handy, like, just because of, like, I had to switch things over to put, because I have to, oh my god. I had to put stuff, I had to put my necessities in different bags. Like, so I just use this and I put it in my purse, or I put it in my school bag. Yeah, I just opened this and I took out this. Okay, these are like the best things ever. Like, so many people more, so many like more people like me better when I'm wearing these. Like, it's like I seem more tuned out, so they just like don't have a problem. I don't know, like, I don't even know. But yeah, this color is like the best thing for my skin tone ever. But I didn't know that like very hot colors were good, because I was thinking like more cold, like a really cold pink. Not like orange pink, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm wearing this shirt again. I literally always want to make these videos when I'm on my cycle. This is day 2. This is what I'm reading, slow. Oh yeah, this is my key. Yeah, I was just so tired earlier today, like at 12. And I couldn't even make my matcha correctly this morning. Like, everything just went wrong. And my sorority's Instagram posted the initiation picture, and it's the worst picture ever. Like, I don't know if this should be the video where I talk about who I hate, because it's just so because I don't want to put negativity out there, but like, this individual did it first. But yeah, words cannot describe like how much I like having no friends. Like, I literally like, I always have the best personality ever, but I have no friends. Somebody starts like if I get on some antidepressants that like literally make me like literally not be able to experience attraction, somebody will start being into me, I swear. Like into me and like going for it, because right now my antidepressants make it so that I literally can't even gain any weight. But I used to be on antidepressants that like made it so, I don't know what it is, like lowers your libido or something. I don't know what it was given, but yeah. Low key, I might go to the dining hall today just to get some soup because of my cycle. But what's it giving? Like, should I talk about? Cause I don't know. Day 2 is like the worst day to be on my cycle. I just feel like oh my god. Oh yeah, but I already told you guys, like, whenever whenever like it's the worst scenario for something to happen, like it literally will. Like, I swear on my life, if I get on some antidepressants that literally make me ace. Anyways, and also I'm now on Wellbutrin that makes me not even be able to gain weight the one time in my life where I would like to, but I mean where I would appreciate that actually, but okay, should I talk about it? I don't know. I just want to talk about it because it's over now. Like, now I have like no friends and it's great, but sometimes it's nice when you're on your cycle to like check in with somebody. That's kind of why I make these videos, because it's kind of nice to like have like a throwaway conversation. But yeah, okay, let's talk about, yeah, because I've been on a roll, like, talking about boy moms. So let me just talk about this so that I can get it off. And then, yeah. And then we're going to be done with talking about. Because I just have to talk about my experience because, especially, like, at this school, I just feel like I'm never going to meet people like this ever again. Even though I probably will. And it's probably, like, everybody in the real world after I went to, like, the high school that I went to. Like, this might be, like, the real world. But anyways, so I'm going to talk about. So I was friends with this 5th year when I was a sophomore, 2nd year at this school. And I was a sophomore 2023 through 2024, the spring. But right now it's the fall of 2024. So I was friends with the 5th year, and we met in the gender studies class that she was taking. And she was talking about I thought I was going to graduate last year, but my advisor effed me over. But it was never given that. And you would think that she would be trying to lock in right now, because her advisor messed her up or whatever. But yeah. Okay, so this was like the most immature person I have ever met in my life. She literally was trying to talk down to me while being a 5th year, which is respectable, but she's not even locking in, like, as in trying really hard to make sure that she graduates correctly, if that makes any sense. So yeah, so she was just like talking down to me. Also, she was taking some summer classes after she graduated that spring, so she was still taking classes. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Also, not you trying to talk down to me when we're taking the same class. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're the only 5th year in this class. Do you know what I mean? So our first couple conversations, she want to act like she's as smart as me. So I was talking about, she brought up an assignment to me and talking about, what grade did you get? I was like, oh, I got like 20 out of 20 or a perfect score or something like that. She gonna say, oh, I think I got the same grade. No, you didn't. Nobody who gets a perfect score is unsure. They did or they didn't. They never say, I think. Number one. Number two, she didn't participate in all, she didn't like make sure to participate in all of the discussion boards, which means that she didn't get like a perfect grade in the class, which doesn't mean she got an F, but she was not, I know she didn't get the grade that I got on that assignment or in the class, because I think I got 100% in that class, or 99.99 or whatever. But yeah, so she was trying to act like she's as smart as me or whatever, which being good at one class doesn't make you smart, but that's what she was trying to do. Okay, so we would always hang out on her terms. So we would go to her dorm, and if I would suggest going to my dorm, she would just bring up something else or some other excuse or change the subject. So she always wanted to go to her dorm. Every time we hung out, it was her idea. So we couldn't hang out on any occasion that wasn't something that she brought up. So the reason why I even found out about her was because she was the third person in somebody else's not monogamous relationship. So basically, she was just kind of telling me, him and I were best friends. You know the story. Him and I were best friends, and then he got a girlfriend. And she expected me to be so blown away. Like, you were best friends? And then he got a girlfriend? But no, radio silence for me. Because that's what's supposed to happen when a man gets a girlfriend. He stops being friends with you. You were not picked. You were not picked. And I don't think her being older than me, like, is like, oh, such a big gap. I do consider her a peer, but I do think that she should know better. But yeah, so she's black, by the way, and the guy that she was being intimate with while he had a girlfriend, he was black. And I think the other girl that he actually chose was like mixed or white passing color. White passing, but not white, but like not all the way white passing. Do you know what I mean? So anyways, so she was low-key just trying to compete with that girl, because why do you want to be in a relationship with him all of a sudden when he starts to get serious with somebody that he always saw romantically, and he only saw you to, well, he was your friend, but like, whatever. I'm not gonna lie, like, well, yeah, but it was kind of given like, it's one of those things like, girl, you have to acknowledge that you are a different gender than this man. Therefore, if he gets a girlfriend, he will stop being your friend because you are a girl. It's not a situation where you're both DL guys and one of the guys gets a girlfriend, and then I feel like that guy does have the right to be upset because you're both the same gender. But if you're a girl and your guy friend gets a girlfriend, I'm not really like understanding like what you don't like, what you're not really peeping. And she was so confused why she wasn't like in a relationship. She had like the biggest wandering eye ever. But yeah. So she was a fifth year, and the guy, she would still have him visit, which means that he came to her room to visit her at the school that she's still going to, that he graduated from at the right time. So he's coming over from med school or whatever to come visit her at her dorm, and they just hook up. So he's still only doing one thing with her, and she genuinely thinks that they're gonna date. And it's just like, don't you know that men don't date people that they already get the benefits from without having to be the boyfriend? Like, you're literally making it so he doesn't have to be the boyfriend. Do you know what I mean? He didn't even have to ask you out, so he doesn't think highly of you. But anyways, so what else? So yeah, so basically, so then she was telling me like, oh, like sometimes we would go to lunch or something, which she would ask me. So basically she's just one of those people that always makes the first move with everything. So that's why that guy wasn't being the boyfriend, because everything is about her terms, which I noticed about her just with everybody. Like, it's just, she has to talk to you first. So one time we went to dinner because she asked me to go to dinner. So one time she was telling me like, oh, I hate it when guys that are black like don't have a preference for outside of their race, but they hate on women of color or whatever. I think she used the word woman of color because I doubt she even can say the word black woman while being one. I don't even consider her a black woman. Like, I don't even feel like I was even like communicating with a black woman. Like, it was never given that when I was speaking to her. But yeah, so basically, and she fell out with like the black student association at my school because she was like having sex with people and just like falling out with women of color, basically. So she was friends with this one Asian girl in my grade, which, anyways, so what else? So yeah, everything we did was on her terms. Super immature. Whenever I would come over, she's offering me wine. I had like too much edible in her room one time, and then by the time 2024 came around, I was like, I'm never engaging in like, I'm never gonna like, you know, do anything like this again. Like, do you know what I mean? So when she would offer me alcohol or edible, then I would just say no. I would pour it out because I was like, I actually don't like this at all. So at the age of 19, at that point, I was like, I'm never doing this again. So yeah, so she was just like kind of really into that. So one time we were like going to this event at the school, like at 6 p.m. She was like, oh, let's pre-gaming for like a little trifold showcase at our school, and she wanted to do shots of tequila. Super inappropriate and like humiliating. So anyways, so she did have a job at this point. Like, I think she worked as like a daycare at this private school down the street, and she was in a sorority at my school. She was at the only sorority that I don't like, because everybody there is like super depressed and talks really monotone. Like, they're very miserable, everybody in that sorority. So but they like it. Like, it's weird. So I don't know if she could still be in a sorority as a 5th year, but to my knowledge, she wasn't in a sorority when I knew her. So she wasn't in anything, basically, aside from her one job. But anyways, so one time I was complaining about some people at my school or whatever. She's talking about them, and she's kind of like playing the devil's advocate. And these two people were white women. So she was basically being like, I was talking about them, how they're racist. She's like, oh, I don't really think it's racist. I think it's more cultural appropriation. I don't really know if it's. I'm like, what's the difference? Why did you feel the need to correct me about this? Like, you're not smarter than me. Like, why are you trying to prove that you're like smarter than me? You're not. You didn't even do well in our like most political class that we could possibly take, gender studies. You didn't even do well in that class. You're not like really like well spoken. Like, I don't know why you're trying to prove that you're like more politically correct than me. So anyways, so next time I hang out with her, also, because she told me to hang out with her. Or she would just like sit where I was sitting or something. Or I'm sitting across the room from her because I didn't want to sit with her. She's like, oh, why are you sitting over there? She like texts me, oh, why are you sitting over there? Like, she just can't peep that I don't want to sit with her. Okay, so here's the plot line where she starts talking to me about who she's actually dating. So she tells me that she's trying to date this person, this white person, that she misgenders when she's talking about this person, but they're not in the binary, let's say that. So she's calling this person a girl, being like, talking to, them, blah, 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 blah. And she was basically just telling me about how this person is literally ignoring her and does not like her. Like, she was like talking about texting them and how they left her undelivered or read or whatever. And she's talking about how she is talking to them through their friend, and their friend is telling her, oh, they're not in the binary, like, stop using whatever. And she just like doesn't even get it. And she talks about like seeing this person and they just like back away and literally avoid her. But she explains it as if it's not like as aggressive as it is. But I could totally like see somebody like aggressively avoiding her. And like she was talking about like being in line, like standing in line with this person, and this person literally just talking to their friend and not even like seeing her as like somebody that they were in a talking stage with. Like just seeing her as like insignificant, which she is. And she like has the audacity just like be like, oh, I'm so confused as to why. What are you confused about? It's really clear. It's really simple. So anyways, basically she goes on to tell me what they even did together. And you guessed it, literally nothing. She asked them to go to this pizza restaurant across the street. So she asked them out, and then they also like went on a walk outside on the sidewalk, and she acting like they were really dating or something. I'm like, a walk? And you asked them to go to that pizza place? Again, with the like, you initiating everything. Like, and not giving people like the space or the chance to like not like you, I guess. I mean, not like you. I don't know, like nobody can just get some space. So I did kind of perceive her as a scary person at that point. The next person that she liked was her RA, which was actually a girl and also white. And she was also avoiding her because she was her RA and she's a 5th year that should have been graduated. And she don't have nothing to talk to her about. But basically, she was just like check in with me, talking about like, oh, I think that she was wondering if I was dating this girl I'm friends with. Mind you, the girl she's friends with is of color, Asian, and she's like, yeah, I think she, since that girl mentioned having a boyfriend, now she knows that I'm not with her and I'm single and blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay. Anyways, so then basically she would just check in with me, telling me about, so she would date, So I'm just like so basically she would date like men of color and then only white women, obviously. So sometimes she would tell me about like a guy being into her or whatever, or her having exchanging info with a guy. Anyways, she was just like trying to date everybody essentially, and I knew that she was an Aquarius. Everybody except women of color. She was just like, so that's how I knew that she was an Aquarius, because Aquarius literally always act like everybody's waiting around to date them. Like, it's insane. So anyways, so basically she like falls out with women of color when she thinks that they like her. And she basically, one time we were at dinner or lunch again because of her coming up to me again, and she wanted to be like, blah 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 blah, I lean toward white women. That's what she said. She was like, blah blah blah, I lean toward white women, and then took a sip of her drink like it was a super normal thing to say. And it was like, and I was like, oh my god, wait, I'm literally sitting next to like somebody's creepy uncle, not her saying that and then taking a sip of her drink like it was super normal to say that. So then she was like kind of saying it, expecting me to agree, but it was just kind of scary, like just you saying that and then sipping your drink. So anyways, so she was like making sure, so when she was like in the girl that was in her RA, she was like trying to make sure that no women of color that she's friends with like start touching on her or whatever, so she doesn't think that they're dating. Oh yeah, and like sometimes we would like watch a movie and she would be like, oh, I don't like this girl, and I would be like, oh, do you like that girl then? Woman of color. So then she like changes the subject. Anyways, but yeah, so then I started to peep that every time she falls out with somebody, it's a woman of color. But yeah, really scary. Like, she was actually like a predator. So she was of course trying to make it out as if like all of these like women of color are like waiting around to date her or something, even though white women are avoiding her just as much as she's avoiding women of color. So it really just looks like you're just like kind of getting the treatment that you already act like. Like, have you ever thought maybe white women think that about you and are avoiding you right now? So anyways, the last time I talked to her was a conversation of like her basically saying like, we were like talking about like the black cat and golden retriever conversation, and then she said that she was black cat, and then proceeded to like try to act less interested in our conversation because she like want to act all of a sudden mysterious. And I was just like, oh brother. So anyways, so she was basically like super creepy uncle vibe, like yeah, always like pursuing other people first and just assuming that they'll like her, and like really just confused as to why like she's not dating anybody, but like she's just not really the girlfriend in the relationship, so that's why you're not dating anybody. I mean, that's really the only reason. But yeah, I was scared. Like, oh yeah, and then by then I dyed my hair pink because it was almost summertime. And I was like walking somewhere, and I was like walking to go eat, and then she was like, oh, I'll go down, sit down there with you, which she didn't. So hopefully she didn't like my pink hair or something with her weird ass. Hopefully. We can only hope. But yeah, what happened next? I mean, really that was it. Just like talking down to me while she was a fifth year taking classes that I already took my freshman year. She was taking like core classes that you should have been took. And it was just like, how did you even make it this far? So yeah, and just changing the subject when I would talk about my dorm, because she didn't want to go to my dorm, so we would just always go to her dorm, which was a super unsafe environment given that she's always offering me drugs. So it was unsafe, and like, do you know what I mean? So like, I can kind of get when like people don't want to go to other people's dorms because it's unsafe. But then why is your dorm unsafe? But yeah, she was like a super inappropriate, like weird person. I don't know. And like, yeah, like she sees white women as like her perfect ideal women, but she doesn't even like womanly white women. Like, you know those people that like prefer white women, but they don't even like the normal ones. Oh yeah, and here's something else that she did to try to act black hat. She was like talking to me about this girl that likes her, and then the first time she told me about it, she was acting like she was complaining because she was trying to act humble. So she was like, oh, she just like laughing at everything I say or whatever, like trying to act humble. And then she was like, I've seen your ex, like I'm not your type. Like just trying to act humble. She's like, yeah, I bet you have seen her ex. I bet you know everything about her ex. Her ex graduated at the right time. Do you know that? Anyways. So, yeah, so the next time she talked about it, she was like bringing it up, like how she likes her. I was like, oh, you like her? And then she was like, yeah. Like hella quick, like hella aggressive. Just manly. Anyways, so she was like, yeah, I like her, like having an attitude because she just like wants to be black cat. Miserable, just miserable. So yeah, so then she was like, I don't know, like talking to me about it. I guess like talking about how they are talking over Instagram or whatever. Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, that was my last conversation with her. But yeah, I think she low-key like does all the pursuing in the relationship because she like in every way takes advantage of the other person. So she wants to do the work of like pursuing them in every way, like making the first move, the second move, the third move, because she knows that like if they actually date, or if they actually like do anything that's actually romantic. Like, she also wants that to be like by her terms. So that's why she's like doing all of that, because she's actually like an exploitative, like, bad person. So yeah, so she has like the same birthday as the gay guy that was grooming me when I was in high school. And like, yeah. And they actually do have a little bit in common. Like, they have a racial preference, but they don't even be liking, they have a racial preference in women, but they don't even be liking the womanly version of like their preference. So it's just like kind of odd. Like, so you don't prefer women, you just prefer a race, basically. But yeah. So yeah, just like, it was kind of scary, like being talked down to by somebody that was actually so much less mature, and like could not for the life of this person, like just could not lock in at all. Like, there was no locking in happening during this time. But yeah. Oh yeah, something also immature that she would do is like, sometimes we have like some conversations that we definitely shouldn't have been having, and then it felt like it gave her permission to like look at my lips or whatever, or like look at my mouth or whatever. And I know my lips is big, but like, I don't know why like some conversations like feel like it gave her permission to do that. So then I actually did like start to peep that, dang, like she actually makes all the moves because she wants to get everything that she wants in the relationship, and the other person is just supposed to like follow along. And like, she actually is like very like preying on people vibe. Like, it's like most of the times I hung out with her, I did not want to, and I don't know why she felt like she had permission to like look at my like mouth at my lips at random points, because she doesn't really like have permission, because it's not like she doesn't all the time to like see what I'm saying, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, when people look at your lips to see what you're saying, because she's not deaf. So she will only do it like when we're having like certain conversations, because she feels like I'm low value as hell like her, and she feels like she can like do that, I guess. But it was super creepy. She was very creepy. Yeah, that's what it was. Creepy, 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 creepy. Old bitch. But yeah, because you have no reason to like look at somebody's lips, really. But yeah, so I hope she dates a white woman that treats her like the boyfriend that she is. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.